What's up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here with another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Going back into r/AskReddit today for some more funny to get you through the work week. So, let's get to it. Alright, you guys seemed to really enjoy this one last time, and my wife has been saying go back and do this one for a while now. So, the AskReddit question was, what's something weird/funny/embarrassing that you've done on autopilot? And there are some good ones in here. Go to the cinema to watch Quantum of Solace. Walk in 5 minutes late. Furious car chase on screen. Instinctively try to find my seatbelt. Got in my car to buy groceries and drove the 45 minutes to work. P.S. The actually embarrassing one is when you are a home care nurse and you walk into one of your patients' homes at 9 p.m. expecting them to have milk and bread in stock. Oh gosh. I've done this before. I'm always running to catch the subway after waiting at the crosswalk in front of the station. Casually walking with my friend in the same area yesterday, started running when the cross sign lit up. He was like, "What the frick?" Follow-up comment to that, Pavlov's commute. Yeah, that's actually pretty applicable. I drove home from Phoenix to Prescott, forgetting the fact that I had moved to Flagstaff about a month prior. Got all the way to my old driveway before realizing my error. Both Prescott and Flagstaff are north of Phoenix, but are about an hour and 45 minutes apart from each other. Yeah, that's quite the mistake. I had recently been attending a lot of martial arts classes at night. One morning at work, I accidentally bowed at my boss when I entered his office. This was in the US, neither of us are of Asian descent, and yes, he noticed. It was awkward. Stopped at a stop sign and waited at least a minute and a half for it to turn green. I've not done this personally, but I've been in a car when someone did something similar. I mean, granted, it wasn't a minute and a half because I was there being like, what are you doing? But yeah, I've been in this situation. For me, when I went grocery shopping, it was pay, take bags, walk home. Get home. Wait, I drove, didn't I? I left the car in the parking lot. I walked and took the bus for practically all of my 20s, so it was just muscle memory to walk home. I got my license at age 25 after moving from the city to a tiny town. I was so used to walking everywhere that one day I drove somewhere, forgot I'd driven, and walked back to work. Finished work, thought, oh, my car's not there, must have walked in today. So I walked home. Got home, car's not there. Thought, oh, must have left it at mom's. It wasn't there. Wasn't at the shops or the pool. I was too embarrassed to ask anyone if they had seen it and had absolutely no idea where I'd left it, so I just kept walking everywhere for 3 or 4 days. Eventually, my housemate spotted it and asked if I was ever going to pick it up. Dude, where's my car? Oh, I can't believe I just referenced that movie. It is so stupid. I was tired at the time, but sat down on the toilet thinking that the seat was up and just peed all over the seat, the floor, and myself. Not a great thing to do. Or clean up. At 3 a.m. Follow up on that one. My husband left the seat up one time. I went to pee in the middle of the night, so of course I left the lights off. It was cold and shocking. He almost died in his sleep that night, and I almost made my debut on Snapped. Actually, it's funny, when I was compiling this list for the video, I read that one to my wife, and she just looked at me with this look of just absolute gratitude for the fact that I am one of the few guys out there who apparently takes issue with the seat not being down. Maybe it's just an OCD thing here, but I hate walking into a bathroom and seeing a toilet with the lid not down on top of it. It just seems weird to me, and so she's never had an experience where the toilet seat was left up because I always put it down. It just annoys me to not have the lid covering the toilet if there is one. So, yeah. Those guys do exist, I guess. I've worked as a caregiver for adults with mental and physical disabilities for more than a decade now. I'm a caregiver. I do basic cares, which includes helping many adult men do their daily activities. Things like shaving, buttoning shirts, making sure belts are on correctly, so on and so forth. Once on a date, I was a bit buzzed. I fixed my date's shirt and told him he needed to look in the mirror and see if he wanted to shave. Hope he was cool with it. On the railroad, you can get verbal permission to pass a red signal or flag either from the dispatcher or the employee who placed the red flag. You cannot, under any circumstances, pass a blue light or flag, because that protects employees working on/under/between rolling stock beyond the blue signal. Driving home in the car late one night, I decided to take a shortcut through the local university. I go around a corner and see a blue light marking a police call station. Immediate conclusion? Crap, can't go that way. Okay, now that one is understandable. That's such a muscle memory thing. I can completely get that. I stepped on a Cheeto and apologized to it. That sounds like a story that belongs more in one of the boot camp things that I've done. I work with preschoolers, and we sing songs to help them wash their hands. And I started singing the same song when I went out with some friends to a bar. You could just pass it off as you're a little tipsy. Totally understand. Follow up on that. Reminds me of the time I went on a first date with a girl I met online who was working with preschoolers as part of her training to become a teacher. She treated me like a preschooler. Whenever I told any kind of story, she had to give me a yay and extra soft patty cake style double high fives. I'm quite certain my body language made my discomfort very clear, but she was not deterred. There was no second date. I was getting my car out of the parking lot, heading back home after a long day. Shortly after I started driving, I passed a car that is identical to mine and thought, cool, I found the car. I got out of the car to go to the other car. Halfway through, I noticed that what the frick am I doing? Looked around hoping that no one saw me, and then went back on my merry way. Wasn't a proud moment. When I arrive at work, I subconsciously look for my friends' cars, so I know who's already there. One day, I saw the same car as mine and thought, I'm here as well. Edit, silver for an existential crisis. Yay, thanks. Was it an existential crisis or was it an out-of-body experience? I was sitting in math class one day and I was just humming to myself while the teacher explained something at the board. She went to turn off the projector, which is next to my desk. Then, still standing next to me, she gives me this weird look and asks, is something wrong? I had been so deep in thought that I had lost the tune, but kept humming. So I was now just humming a long, low without any change in pitch. So yeah, that was embarrassing. Sometimes in the shower, I fill my mouth up with water and just kind of let it pour out. Was brushing my teeth standing in the bathroom one day, fully dressed before work. I just let the toothpaste pour slowly out of my mouth and onto my clothes as if I were in the shower. Now, every time I brush my teeth, my boyfriend warns me not to spit all over myself. Making cookies, I cracked an egg and dumped the contents into the garbage. Thankfully caught myself before putting the shell into the cookies. Yeah, shell in cookies is not a good thing. Was taking my belt off at the TSA and then pulled down my pants, got to my ankles, and was like, nope, back up. I'm sure you're not the only one who's done that. Family member or friend calls me. Me, thank you for calling, call center job. My name is OP. To better assist you, may I please have your membership number? I have 2 kids and am in the habit of pointing out things I think they'll like. Rainbows, the moon, nice dogs. One day in work, I turned to a young male childless colleague and said, "Oh, look over there, a cat!" I got a weird look. My wife does this to me fairly frequently. It's cute, but yeah, she does this. Follow up on that one. I've got 3 kids. On the way to work once, I pointed to the sky and excitedly said, "Oh, look, a helicopter!" to my empty car. Put my phone under a faucet to fill up my water bottle. I recognized my mistake, and then I did it again. Trying to unlock the front door of my house with my car remote. That's a good one. I used to work in a factory, starting at 6 a.m., so I'd have to get out of bed around 5:15 each morning. There was one morning when I got up, had my breakfast, and left as usual, then drove around the corner to the garage where I would buy my lunch. It seemed a lot quieter than usual, but being half asleep myself, it only half registered. Then I got back in my car and noticed the time. I was awake 3 hours early. So I went home and back to bed for a couple of hours. I work as a housekeeper, and when we knock on a door, we yell, "Housekeeping," and when we throw laundry down the chute, we yell, "Heads," so those below watch their heads. Anyway, one day I knocked on a door and loudly yelled, "Heads!" Later that day, the back of my mind remembered my mistake and made sure to correct it. But I overcorrected and stupidly yelled, "Housekeeping!" down the laundry chute. I can just picture a housekeeper flying down the laundry chute now. My wife says she once ate a pizza at a friend's house and, out of habit, threw the crust on the floor for the dog. Those friends didn't have a dog. I placed my cell phone in the fridge and left the milk out after making some cereal. Ended a phone call with my boss. Love you, babe. Edit. Boss was a she, and to be honest, she was pretty dang cute in a slightly goofy way. Follow up on that one? I've called my boss dad before. He just stopped and said he'd rather not be called that. But at least he laughed. And another follow-up. I remember in elementary school, I called a female teacher mom when I was in grade 2 or 3. Thought I was going to die from embarrassment. Okay, I don't know why that just reminded me of this, but I remember when I was like 12 or so, I had just finished up swim team practice, and there was a Suburban parked outside the gym where I went to work out that looked identical to my family's. And so I just walked up to it, opened the door, got in, shut it, and I was like, "Hi, Mom." And then I turn over and it's not my mom. And this woman's just staring at me like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "I am so sorry. This is the identical car my family drives, and I'm just gonna go now." And so so I got out, and I've never seen someone lock the doors so fast. I mean, I was just this small little 12-year-old kid just out of swim practice. It's not like I posed a threat, but still. And another follow-up. I did something similar. I'm a male, and I was talking to my also male best friend, and when we were hanging up, I said, "Love you, baby." He died laughing. "Here you go. If you need anything else, just let me know." As I graciously put down the plate with food I cooked for the only person in the room. Me. That's taking your work home with you. I made dinner. It was some exotic chicken and rice. Wanted a drink, poured orange juice in my chicken and rice. Tasted great though. I can see that tasting pretty good actually. Follow up. Glad the flavor combination worked out for you. I once added cat food to my, I know I'm pronouncing this wrong, muesli bowl and put oat milk in my cat's bowl. Neither one of us was impressed. Yeah, I'm fairly positive Zorro would not want, he'd not be very interested in oat milk. I've been working with children for 7 years now. When I'm drunk / tired / otherwise distracted, I go into teacher mode. If I'm traveling with people, I'll count them on and off public transport. I offer everyone water and snacks if I have them, and even tell complete strangers to use your walking feet / inside voice if they're running or shouting. I didn't even know I was doing it till my boyfriend pointed it out to me. My wife works at an elementary school and had been covering lunch to give teachers a break. We went out to an ice cream place with extended family, including 9 kids. All the kids were saying they wanted this or that, and my wife speaks up in her lunchroom voice to say, "Every kid is getting the same size ice cream. All of you line up and tell the lady at the counter what flavor you want." It wasn't just heard by our family, it silenced the entire restaurant. We still give her crap about it years later. I was talking to my boyfriend while he was eating a sandwich. In mid-sentence, he ripped off a piece and threw it at my face. He looked stunned when I didn't open my mouth and catch it. We have a dog. We both nearly peed ourselves laughing. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. That was r/AskReddit, and if you want more funny or uplifting AskReddit content, then go ahead and check out the playlist link in the description below. Now you guys go out there, have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.